Hello, 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 and happy Thursday. We are, what is this, day 4 into our fast in our daily devotional and Bible study. Today I'm going to be reading from 1 Kings 3:16, or is this 18? Sorry, guys, 16 through 16 through I think 28. Okay. I'm reading about the two mothers and the baby that's unalived, and this is King Solomon. As you can see here, I believe it's here, and it says King Solomon's wisdom activated, or Solomon's wisdom in action. That's what it says. So Solomon's wisdom in action. So I'm going to be reading there. A short time later, two prostitutes came to the king and stood in front of him. One woman said to him, "Sir, this woman and I live in the same house. I gave birth to a son while she was with me in the house. 2 days later, this woman also gave birth to a son." Hold on. "We were alone. No one else was with us. Just the two of us were in the house. That night, this woman's son, unalived, because she rolled over on top of him. So she got up during that night, took my son, who was beside me while I was asleep. She held him in her arms. Then she laid her unalived son in my arms. When I got up in the morning to nurse my son, he was unalived. I took a good look at him and then realized he wasn't my son at all. The other woman said, 'No, my son is alive. Your son is unalived.' The first woman kept on saying, 'No, your son is unalived. My son is alive.' So they argued in front of the king. The king said, 'This one keeps saying, my son is alive. The other one, your son is unalived. And the one that keeps saying, no, your son is unalived, my son is alive.' So the king told his servants to bring him a sword. When they brought it, he said, 'Cut the living child in two. Give half of the one and half to the other.' Then the woman whose son was still alive was deeply moved by her love for the child. She said to the king, 'Please, sir, give her the living child. Please don't unalive him. But the other woman, he won't be mine or yours. Cut him in two.' That's what the woman said. The king replied, 'Give the living child to the first woman. Don't unalive him. She is his mother.' All Israel heard about the decision the king made. They respected the king very highly because they saw he possessed wisdom from God to do what is right." Now, this story is about so many things: the unconditional love of a mother, the selfishness of a woman who just so happens to be a mother. See, one mother had lost her child, and one mother woke up and at first thought she lost her child until she took a good look and realized someone had stolen her child. This woman had stolen her child and replaced her child with her unalive child. And I'm saying alive for YouTube purposes. The unconditional love of a mother would be like, no, don't harm my child, or don't harm the child. Just give the child to her. A selfish person who has selfish motives won't care what happens to that child. They'll be like, just like the woman said, so be it. Cut the child up. I won't have the child and you won't have the child. Oh, well. because that is the character of a selfish person. A loving and selfless person would do exactly what that first mother did. Please don't harm the child, just give the child to her. She rather have lived with her child on this earth alive, knowing he was safe, than living on this earth without her child, knowing that her child would be cut into pieces. But because Solomon had the wisdom to understand and know, this other one, she's the fake, she's the phony, she's the counterfeit. The first one, she was the authentic. Okay, that concludes our Bible study. I think I'm going to cut this up so that I can do our daily devotional. So that concludes our scripture reading for our Bible study. Stay tuned for the next portion.